Hey everybody, happy new year and welcome back to my channel. My name is Ashley Richardson and that's Miss Richardson to you if you are a student watching. And today we are making a strawberry cheesecake pound cake. Stay tuned. So let's talk about these ingredients really quickly. I have 3 sticks of salted butter. I'm going to use 1 cup of room temperature milk, and this just happens to be 2% milk. If you choose to use whole milk, that's up to you, but I drink 2%, so that's what we're going to be using. I have a box of Jell-O pudding, the cheesecake Jell-O pudding that has been sifted into this container here with my 3 cups of Swan's Down cake flour. I also have a teaspoon of baking powder in this container here, 3 cups of sugar, 5 large eggs, which will eventually be room temperature because I'm laying my things out now. And then in this container here, I have graham crackers and pecans that I put in the food processor, which is going to create the crust on the inside of the pan, like when I do a Louisiana crunch cake. And if you haven't seen that video of my Louisiana crunch cake, check that out. The only thing that's missing in this container right here are the coconuts that I would usually put in the Louisiana crunch cake. And then I have my pureed strawberries in this container, which is going to give us that strawberry swirl in the cake. And I'm going to insert a clip of me swirling, not swirling, but pureeing the strawberries in this container. This came from a pound of fresh strawberries, which I cut. And then, of course, I cleaned them, I cut them, and then I put them in my food processor and then pulsed them down. I put them in the pan to cook off the water and got it to a thicker consistency, and then I refrigerated it. And so I did this yesterday so that I wouldn't have to do it today, and I'm going to use that fresh strawberry puree to swirl in the cake. So these are all of my ingredients that will be in our cake today. Here are the flavors that I'm going to use in the cake batter. I have pure vanilla extract. I'm going to use a little bit of lemon extract because lemon and vanilla and strawberry just pair very well together. Some strawberry extract, butter extract, and then of course I have the cream bouquet. If you ever watch Miss Donna, Beautiful 2 Creations with Donna, she turned me on to the cream bouquet, and we get it here at our local cake store. So these are going to be the flavors that I infuse into the pound cake, and I think it's going to be delicious. Inside of my mixing bowl, I have my 3 sticks of salted room temperature butter, and then I have my extracts here, which I've already added in. I have a teaspoon of cream bouquet, 3 teaspoons of pure vanilla extract, 1 teaspoon of butter extract. I put about half a teaspoon of pure lemon extract, and then a full teaspoon of strawberry extract. And to that, I will add my 3 cups of sugar, and we are going to mix this and cream the butter and the sugar until it is light and fluffy. I like to cream the butter just a little bit before I add in the sugar to make sure that it's smooth, and then we will add the sugar slowly. And you can see those extracts in the bottom of the bowl, which will be incorporated throughout the entire cake. And you want to mix your butter and sugar until it is quiet and you don't hear the granules of sugar anymore, but I'll show you exactly what that looks like in the end. And I'm going to mix this on high speed for probably about anywhere from 6 to 7 minutes. You have to watch it to make sure that it is light and fluffy, and I'll show you what that looks like in the end. You always want to stop and scrape down the side of your bowl. To make sure that everything gets mixed well. And we're back to mixing. I'm stopping for a second time to scrape down the side of the bowl, and if you look closely, you can still see the yellow parts of the butter. That's why it is critically important to scrape the side of your bowl, because if you don't, the parts along the edges, like this is what was in the middle, that's on the whisk. That's creaming very nicely, but the yellow that you see, that's what has been left on the side of the bowl. And if you don't take the time to scrape down the side of the bowl, it will not cream properly. So please do make sure to do that. So while the cake is mixing, this is an excellent time to prepare your pan. Now you can use a baking spray like Baker's Joy or something of that nature, but I just did it the old-fashioned way. I have greased and floured the pan. This has never failed me, and you can tell it has been thoroughly greased and floured so that the pan slides out seamlessly. We have achieved light and fluffy. You can see there is no yellow. And you look at that consistency of the batter. This is what you want the batter to look like. And now we're going to begin adding in our eggs slowly, one at a time. And you want to mix your egg until the yolk disappears. And I ended up creaming my butter and my sugar for about 12 minutes. From start to finish, scraping the sides of the bowl, the side of the bowl, it took about 12 minutes. Oh, that one tried to slip in. And I'm going to turn the mixer up slightly to get all of the yolk. I'm going to scrape the side of my bowl to make sure that I've gotten all the yolk, because if you look over here to the side, you can see I still have a little bit of yolk that hasn't been mixed in, and then we'll be ready to alternate our milk and our flour cheesecake mixture. So it's time for us to add our flour, and once again, I have 3 cups of Swan's Down baking flour. I have a teaspoon of baking powder, and then I have that box of Jell-O pudding, the cheesecake Jell-O pudding, and all of that is inside of the bowl. And we're going to alternate flour with my milk. You always want to start with dry and end with dry. Now I typically bake with a block of cream cheese, but since I have the Jell-O pudding mixture in with the cake, I decided not to add the cream cheese to this cake, and we're going to do it with milk. But remember, always start with dry and end with dry. So we're going to do this in thirds. We'll put about 1 cup of flour into the mixing bowl, mix, and then alternate with the milk. During this time, you want to make sure that you do not overmix your batter, so it is always a good idea to mix on slow speed. Now I'm going to go ahead and add in some of that milk there. A little bit more of the flour. And I go through this process very quickly because I do not want to overmix, and I will stop and scrape the side of the bowl. Our last portion of milk. And then our last portion of flour. I'm going to speed it up just a little bit. And I'm going to mix the rest by hand. I'm going to scrape the side of the bowl and finish mixing by hand, and then we'll be ready to add it into our baking pan. So take a look at how nice and whipped this batter is. It's beautiful, it's thick, and I think it's really going to yield a really nice cake. It's time for us to spoon the batter into the pan, but before I do that, I want to remind you all of the graham cracker crust that I showed you at the beginning of the video. And all this is graham crackers, melted butter. I put a little pecans in here, and some brown sugar. Put it in my food processor and got this nice consistency. And I'm gonna put this in the bottom of the pan and then kind of layer it. So do a layer of the graham crackers, do the cake, then I have my strawberry preserves. And if you remember from the beginning of the video, they were not this dark. Well, you saw me add the food coloring in because I wanted it to be dark so that it didn't bake out to be that grayish color that you saw, but these are the strawberries. And so I'm going to layer it so that you have a nice swirl of graham crackers and strawberries. And this is approximately, I think this was a full sleeve of graham crackers that I used. Do a layer of the cake. And this is not originally the plan that I decided to do. I was gonna do just a traditional strawberry layer cake with a cream cheese icing, but then I woke up wanting to be extra. And so I changed the plan around, and now I'm doing strawberry cheesecake pound cake. And I'm gonna mix that around because we need to reserve some for the second layer. I'm gonna mix that around, make sure that it's even. I'm going to spoon in some of the strawberry preserves now. And these are just fresh strawberries. I did not put any sugar or anything in it so that the natural flavor of the strawberries come through. If you do not want to go through the process of pureeing strawberries and cooking it down and doing all of that, you certainly can buy strawberry preserves that has a lot more sugar, and you want to make sure, I mean, if you're okay with all the sugar, then you can definitely use that. Okay, so I'm just gonna take my spoon and I'm going to swirl that strawberry in. That's pretty. Now I'm going to add in another layer of graham crackers. In my mind, this is going to be delicious. I guess we will see. So this is what it looks like in the pan. I've already tasted it. It really tastes like strawberry cheesecake with the cake batter and the fresh strawberries. And if it comes out as delicious baked as it does, as it tastes right now, I'll be very, very excited. I'm gonna clean this pan a little bit and then she'll be ready to go in the oven, and I will bring you back when it's time to let her cool. The oven is set to 315 degrees. I bake my cakes long and slow like a good piece of chicken. So 315 degrees. This cake will bake probably for a full hour and 30 minutes. And then I'll come back when she's ready to come out of the oven. I'm so excited. It is several hours later, and it's time for us to flip the cake out of the pan. She is completely cool. Now it's time for the moment of truth. When the cake slides out like that, you know that is a perfect thing. Ooh. Now I'm gonna show you the pan. There is a little bit left over in the pan, some of the graham cracker, but for the most part, and that's my cake. Like if you look on the inside, and I don't know if you can see it, but you can see the strawberry swirl on the inside of the cake, and you can see a little bit along the edges. I am really, really excited to cut into our cake, and it smells amazing. Now it's time for us to make our cream cheese glaze. And I have 4 ounces of cream cheese and then a cup of confectioner sugar, aka powdered sugar, in here. And to that, I'm going to mix it with a few tablespoons of milk. You want to just add your liquid in just a little at a time, because you can always add more liquid in, but you can't take it out. So if you want a thicker consistency, of course you would add less milk or heavy whipping cream or half and half, whatever it is that you are using to mix your glaze with. And then if you want to thin it out, you add more. If you want to thicken it, then of course you would add less liquid. And as far as my flavorings are concerned, I'm going to do a teaspoon of cream bouquet. Does that really work when you put your hands behind something? Oh, maybe it does. Anywho, a teaspoon of cream bouquet. Probably about 3 teaspoons of pure vanilla extract. And then I have my strawberry extract and my butter extract. And so those will definitely go in. I don't want it to have a huge strawberry flavor, but I do want it to be a hint of strawberry. And I might even add a pinch of lemon extract, depending upon what I'm feeling like, what I taste. Remember, this is your cake, and you add flavors and extracts and ingredients in to your taste level and to your preference. You make the cake how you want it to taste. And so depending upon what I taste when I mix it, if I decide that I want to add some lemon, I'll definitely let you all know. All right, let's make our glaze. And before I add any of the milk, I'm just incorporating the cream cheese. And this is room temperature, by the way, so it's very easy to mix. But just the extracts, the cream cheese, and the powdered sugar. And very easy to mix, especially with the cream cheese being room temperature. And as you can see, I think I just want a little more milk. Smells good. Okay, so the goal is to get it in a nice pourable consistency, but still thick enough that it gives a good coating to the cake. The cake is glazed. It's nothing fancy. Just a cream cheese glaze, no topping or fruits or anything like that. And so this is what it looks like with just a cream cheese glaze. It almost kind of looks like a caramel sauce, like I said before, because of the tint. But we're gonna cut into this bad boy and see what she's looking and tasting like. So if you look at the cake, you can see the swirl through the center. Oh, that's gonna be yummy. Look at that swirl in the middle, the graham crackers and the strawberry, and look at that texture. Look how moist that is. Look at that. That's gonna be so moist. And then of course, yum. And then you have that graham cracker crust and then that cream cheese glaze. Lord bless this cake in Jesus' name, amen. Okay, here we go. This right here is my swag.
This right here is my swag.
Ooh, whoa, that's good. All the bakers are on me. Y'all. It's so moist. Ooh. This is very good. It's so rich and delicious.
He needs some milk.
It is different. It's something that I just woke up and I thought about. I said, let's put this together. It is extremely moist. This is a very good cake. Well, oh, that's good. It's so rich and it's so moist. Oh my goodness, that would be really good with some vanilla ice cream. If you heated it up a little bit and ate it with some vanilla ice cream, it would be amazing. Well, that brings us to the end of another video. I thank you so much for spending just a little bit of your time with me here today. Once again, my name is Ashley Richardson, and that's Miss Richardson to you if you are a student watching, and I'll see you again in the next video. Bye.